wants. It looks like he's going to be franchise tagged. I don't know if he officially signed the franchise tag. Does he deserve this?
He did.
He did sign it.
I believe so.
Yeah, I thought he did, but I wasn't exactly positive. Obviously, they have him for another year. Does Dak? Do you think Dak deserves this $35 million a year contract that he wants?
Not right now. Definitely not now. I feel like he can be. He has the talent. Um, but if you look at the way he's performed and how the Cowboys have performed as a team, you can't put that much money into a quarterback and running back if they're not going to consistently get you deep into the playoffs. Obviously, they invested big into Zeke. He's one of the best running backs in the NFL. It makes sense. Dak Prescott hasn't looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's looked like a good quarterback, and I don't understand how you could pay him the amount of money that he's asking for if he can't consistently get you into the playoffs. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I agree 100%. Now, do I think he deserves a good amount of money? Yes, because I think it's not difficult or impossible, but I think it's harder to find a good quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but he's definitely not a bad quarterback. He's definitely one of the like from the middle ground of quarterbacks. Like if you were to think of it this way, I think he's above them. I think he is a very good quarterback. He is not a great quarterback, and he's one that if I was the Cowboys, I would invest in for the future, 100%, because there's a lot of quarterbacks that turn out to like Mitchell Trubisky, for example, Pro Bowler, incredible rookie year, right? And then look what he did last year. Absolutely nothing. He couldn't hit the side of a barn if he wanted to. Like he struggled so much, and Dak is definitely above him, but he's not on the level of Drew Brees or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. Like he's not on that level. I mean, there's a chance he can get there, but going 1-6 against playoff teams last year does not prove to me that you deserve $35 million a year.
And besides the fact that he even went 1-6 against playoff teams, which is a horrendous record for as good of a team as the Cowboys should have been, they couldn't even make the playoffs in a
Well, yeah,
division that is considered
exactly.
one of the worst.
Yeah,
Like,
he does not deserve that amount of money. I do think he deserves to be paid though. I think he deserves to be paid because again, if I'm the Cowboys, it's not easy to find a young franchise quarterback the way some teams have. Like Joe Burrow, very good in college, but there is a chance that he is a complete bust in the NFL. I hope he's
mhm.
not. I like him. I hope he has a very good year with the Bengals this upcoming year. But there's always that chance that he can be that bust in the NFL. Same way Tua and like all those other quarterbacks could be that bust. Now I think Tua is talent wise and skill wise a little better, and he had a chance to be that first pick if he didn't get hurt in college this past year. But I just can't see that. I don't think Dak deserves that much money. I don't even think the Jaguars would be dumb enough to sign him for $35 million a year. Like
Exactly.
I just don't see it. Like I don't see a team in the NFL at this current moment who's going to be like, yeah, we'll give you $35 million a year. Not even the Redskins, and the Redskins have a lot of quarterback issues. I don't think actually the Redskins might do it. They have so many quarterback issues that he might go to the Redskins. But I just don't think there's another team in the NFL that's like, yeah, we want you, we'll give you what you want. I don't think
But
I just don't think he's that good enough. It's not worth it for a team to spend $35 million a year on Dak, and then him just do what he's going to do with the Cowboys, and you're not going to go to the playoffs. If you're paying $35 million a year for a quarterback who is probably one of the most important positions, if not the most important position on the football field, and he's not bringing you to the playoffs or like bringing you past the first round of the playoffs, is like it's not worth it. And on top of that, the Cowboys got Andy Dalton, who 4 out of his first 5 years brought the Bengals to the playoffs. Obviously, he's had his injuries. He's had like a lot of things have gone downhill since then. But I mean, I still think Andy Dalton is a very good quarterback. I just don't. It's not worth it for the Cowboys to spend that much money on Dak Prescott when you're not even making the playoffs, as you said, in probably the worst division in the league.
and another thing is, I understand that Jason Garrett, obviously his former coach, was considered to be one of the worst coaches in the NFL. He's had teams before Dak was there with Tony Romo. He's had teams that should have went to the playoffs and they just couldn't get over that hump. Obviously, I think Dak deserves to get the franchise tag, which would pay him $31.4 million, which is an
Which is
absurd amount already
one
for
hundred
just this
percent,
year.
100
And
percent.
then you see how he does. And if he does well, you pay him. If he doesn't, you don't. He's going to be in a new system. if he does
Yeah,
well in the new
yeah,
system,
it
then he
might benefit.
deserves it.
Yeah, exactly. It might benefit him, and then maybe he shows like, oh, we can. It was just that system, whatever. Maybe he does get that money. I don't think he's worth that much money, even if he has a good year this year and goes to the playoffs, because I don't think that division is worth showcasing that you had a really good year. Now, if he goes against playoff teams like he obviously will, and he does much better than 1-6, even if he goes 3-3 or 4-2 or whatever it is, depending on how many playoff teams he plays, I don't obviously you can't tell right now because well the season didn't start. You don't know who's gonna be in the playoffs. But if he does much better against those playoff teams, then it's a conversation you have. Maybe he is worth investing this $35 million a year into, because you can win that division. But I mean, the Eagles won it at 9-7, and to be fair, there was the Vikings at 10-6 who had a better record than them, who finished second in their division. Like, I just don't think it's worth it for the 35 million, even if he does have a good year, unless he shows that he can do better against playoff teams. And then if they make the playoffs in this new system, if they can go past the first round, if you can do something in the playoffs, then it's a conversation worth having. But this 35 million is absurd, and I just don't think he's worth that much money. I think there's very few quarterbacks in the NFL I would give that much money to. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and even at a chance Russell Wilson. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I
I
feel
think he's
those.
already getting that. So
What?
I
Well,
think
no,
Russell Wilson's
no.
already getting that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's very few quarterbacks in the NFL I would even consider giving that kind of money to. Like Tom Brady and Drew Brees, even Aaron Rodgers. Like, I don't think I would give them that money because they're older. They're imagine giving Tom Brady right now $35 million a year,
No.
like for like a 3 4 year contract. Like that's an absurd amount of money, right?
Exactly. And I feel like they're older quarterbacks. So older quarterbacks, they could still be great. Tom Brady, Drew Brees both had like decent seasons last year. Drew Brees obviously had the injury which held him back a little bit. Tom Brady didn't have a great supporting cast. But those quarterbacks I feel like are willing to take less to have a better team around them. With the Cowboys, if they pay Dak this much money
they're
and
not
they
going to be
don't,
good. They
yeah,
won't be able to afford anyone, which is what I don't understand. Tom Brady for years and years took less money at New England in order for them to be good, and look what he's been able to do with it. For years and years, he's taken less money so that team can just buy defensive players, and offensive talent around him so that they would be better. And he's won 5+ Super Bowls. Like it's just insane. Like, and then you want that much money, you're paying your quarterback and running back more than you're probably paying half your offensive line. Maybe even your
yeah,
entire offensive line. To be honest with you, I just feel it's a
yeah.
mistake, and I just feel it's not worth it. It's personal opinion.
No, you're right.
It's just
You're
not.
right. It's a hard situation because you could see it from either side. You see why Dak wants that much money. He is one of the younger quarterbacks in the NFL who looks like he has a high potential. He wants to get his money before he gets injured or something. But then, as the Cowboys, you've already put so much money into players on your defense. You put money into Zeke. It just doesn't make sense from any standpoint for the Cowboys to do it, and it doesn't make sense for Dak Prescott to not want it. So it's just a hard situation. I see why the sides are stuck.
Yeah, like if they pay Dak, they will have a good team for maybe 2 3 years, and then they have to get rid of half their team because of the cap. They
Yep.
just won't be able to afford half the good players. And on top of that, they have probably one of, if not the best offensive line in the league. Half that offensive line is going to be older and broken up by the time if Dak decides to sign this contract, or if the Cowboys give him this contract.
Yeah.
For the Cowboys, I don't think I just don't think it's worth it. I think he's a very good quarterback. He's not worth $35 million a year because it breaks up that entire team. I think they already have a good team around them. They just haven't been able to do anything with it. And maybe this new system fits, but it's just I just can't see it changing much if Dak signs this contract. I think it just ruins a lot of other things for the Cowboys.